Let us see one more example of how this public, private, and protected work. So in this program, we have two classes. Okay, first class is called class safe. Okay, so in this safe class, okay, we have a private variable that is we calling it top secret, a protected variable we call it secret, and a public variable which we call no secret. Then we have a protected function called void set top secret. Then we have a protected function that is called get top secret. So set top secret and get top secret. Then we have a another protected function for set secret and get secret. So for this private variable top secret, we have two functions, get and set function. For this protected variable or secret, we have get function or set function. And finally, we have this public variable no secret, and we have this safe constructor of the safe class. Okay, now what we were trying to do here, so from this again from this class castle class, okay, we have a constructor called castle. So this is our castle class which actually comes from safe class. So we are deriving this class. Now you see in the castle class, okay, what we want to do, okay, we want to write it down, we want to access the variables. Okay, so we have two functions, we have the test function and we have the castle function. Now let's first focus on this function, castle function. What we're doing in this castle function, this is a public so that it can be accessed, this is a constructor. So for we want to initialize these values, top secret, set top secret, secret one, no secret. So that you see the three variables we have here, top secret, integer secret, and no secret. So we're trying to see that whether we can initialize these variables from the constructor. So you see, if I want to initialize the variable like this, top secret equals to 10, the program will give us an error because it's private. So we will not be able to write like this. So this one is not possible. From the derived class, if you want to access a private variable in this way, it is not possible. So because it's private. Okay, then let me just make them all. Now if you want to using a function set top secret, then it's okay, because this function set protect, you see here, as you can see here, that this set top secret function is a protected function. So we know that protected functions or protected members can be accessed from the derived class. Then secret equals to 1. Okay, this is another protected variable, and so we can also access it as well. No secret, we can obviously access it, so because it's public. So I will repeat one more time. From the derived class, we can access protected functions, protected variables, you see, protected function, protected variables, but we cannot access private variables, and we can access public variables. From a derived class, we can access parent class, that is the safe class, protected function, protected variables, public variables and functions, but we cannot access the private variables. If we want to access the private variables, we have to do that using a protected function or public function. Next comes this one. Okay, let's another. So this was our constructor. Okay, so let's assume this, we don't use constructor, we'll use another function, test. Okay, so in this case it's also same. Okay, so whether it's a constructor or it's a normal function, okay, in both case, if you want to access the private, okay, you will not be able to access it. So directly accessing is not possible, it will give us error. But if we want to use using a function that is protected, we can do it. If we want to use access directly, if there's a protected variable, we can do it, and if it's a public, we can do it. So I hope this example clears your confusion. And I'm repeating one last time. When, let's assume we have a class here. The class is called safe class. It has a private variable, a protected variable that is called integer secret, and a public variable. So from the derived class, we can access the protected and the public variables and the functions directly, but we can't access the private members. So it can be from constructor or from any other function. It's not possible. So here I have taken another program that will help us to understand how the function call works. So let me first describe the program. So you have a class A. In the class A, we have a variable integer A. Now, as you can see, as by default, all the members are private. So this is a private. And now this is a public. We have a constructor that just prints that base class. That means we will just, whenever the constructor is called, it will come, it will be printed. So it will just to keep track. Then we have a set function that will print, that will assign a to x. So any value that we pass, if it's 5 or 6, that will be assigned to a. So if we pass 5, okay, so a will be 5. Okay, so this way. So I think all of you already know how it works. Then we have a get function or show function that prints the value of a. So now then what we did, we derived a class that is b, and the class was derived from a. And in the b class we also have a member variable private b. We have also have a constructor that is child class constructor. Let me just write it so that we understand. Constructor, and we have the base class constructor. So you have this two constructor. Then we have the set b function, same as this one. Okay, in the set b function, what we are doing, okay, just this line is not in the first case. We are also calling the function of set a. We're calling the set function of a, and then we have the show function that prints the value of b. That's it. Okay, in the main function, first we create object of b, then we what we do, we call the set b function. Okay, set b function says to 10, and then we call the show function. So let's run the program. So as you can see from the output, the program starts, it creates an object of b. After creating the object, what it does, it goes to here. So it's calls the constructor. So if you look closely, when the constructor is called, it first calling the base class constructor, that means this constructor a, and then it creating the constructor of child class constructor. Now if you look here, we haven't even declared any object of the base class or the parent class, but still we can see in the print that it's printed base class constructor. So what does this mean? This means the program starts from here, b dot objects. Whenever it creates an object of b, that means this class, this is class b. Whenever it creates an object of b class, it actually it has to inherit from a. So that means object of a or the class a needs to be created as well, and that's why the constructor is called. Okay, this is the first part. So first this constructor is called, and after that the child class is created. So I hope all of you get the idea that whenever we inherit a class, the parent class, even though you don't create an object or you don't call those parent class, okay, they are initialized or their constructor is called. So this is the proof. Then what we do, we call set b function. Okay, in the set b function we set a equals to 10. Okay, and then, so we are not sure whether it works or not because we didn't give a printf. I will do that, just give me a minute. So b equals to y, so b will be 10, and that's why it prints b equals to 10. So the value of b is 10. Now let's assume for some reason I want to access the a variable as well. So what can I do? In this one I can just write the function. So what is the function of this? Show function, void show. Okay, okay, got it. So what I can do, I can just write it here in this show function. I can just write void show. Okay, now let's see whether it works or not. Now look closely. Okay, if I just run the program again, you see it's also printing the value of a. That means, okay, two things. First of all, even though we don't create any object of parent class, okay, if that we create the object of child class, parent class is automatically created and the constructors are called. Secondly, okay, from the child class object, okay, what we're doing, we're setting the values of parent class. So we can access, print, assign or set the parent class, we can get the values of parent class. So this is a simple example of how we can access. Now let's change this a little bit. So now let's go to the second one. Okay, now let's try to run the program and see what's the problems. Oh, sorry, not this one, this one. Okay, so here what we're doing, we're seeing another protected, because so far all the examples we have seen are all public or private. So this is the second example of protected. So this is a parent class. In the parent class we all have a protected member IDP, and then we have this public ID, that is ID2. Okay, this one's ID1 is protected, and then ID2 is public. Okay, then we have to show function that prints the value of parent, that is id1.p. So value of parent protected, let me just write this protected. So the value of this parent protected is printed, and this is parent class, it will also be printed after. So this is the show function, and then the child that inherits the parent, we have another variable idc. So this is actually the child, and in the idc we have this set function which set three variables p, c, x. So idp, okay, is basically set by this one. So let me just call this id1, then idc and id2. Now first of all, what is idc? That means id variable of child class. That means we are just assigning values to this child class, private. Then id1p, we are assigning the protected member of this parent class, we are assigning public member of this parent class. Now in this example, at the beginning of the class, we have already seen that from a child class, what we can do, we can assign parents class protected members, parents class public members. So this example, okay, so this is the parent class protected members. So we are assigning values to that parent class protected members, we are assigning values to the parent class public member, and this is the private member of the child class. So it can be done, right? Now after that, okay, this is this, we can also call this show one. Show one is basically the parent class public member, so we can call it. So we'll print all the values. Okay, so let's try to run the program and see what happens. So there's an error here. So let's see why the error is there. So as you can see, it's not being able to parent protected. Okay, so it's not get, oh, this is, it is, I changed the name, now it's okay. So let me see if the value of parent protected, okay, the, okay, there's one mistake here. I think I didn't call the function properly. Yeah, I forgot to call the solve function. So the program creates an object, forget about this, comment it out. It calls the set function 10, 20, 30. So it assigns the value 10, 20 and 30. So all the values are being assigned, and you see it also prints that this is a child class because this is a console output I have given here. Okay, and it also prints this is a parent class. So I can, if I change this one, just keep it simple, you see, let me just keep it simple here. So it creates the object of the child class, it sets the value and calls a show function which prints the parent class is 10, parent protected is 10, parent public is 30, and value of child is 20, and then it prints this one. So very simple, right? We're from one child class function, we're accessing all the members just the way we have seen here. So no difference. Okay. Now, one thing we did here, we tried to access from the child class. Okay, now in this example, what I want to show you that yes, still we can do it from the child class, but what if we want to access from the main function? We haven't talked about that, right? So you can try it on your own. but let me just show you one example. So this is a object of the child class, and we are trying to access this variables from the main function. Okay, so if I write this one, so this is object one, so let's name it x, it will be easier to remember. Okay, so x dot, you see now there are three things, one is blue, another one is green, another one is red. So can you see the colors? Okay, now so blue means that yes, still accessible, but it's protected. Okay, green means you can definitely access it, red means you cannot access it. Okay, so if you see here, okay, so object one, let's name it x. So I just change the name to x. So id2, x dot id2 is a public, right? So why, how do you know? So you see this is a public, so it can be accessed. But x.idc, this is a private, so obviously we know private won't be able to access. And then x.idp, so this is a protected, so it can't be accessed. So you see that is the difference between public and private. So we cannot access the protected members from the main function. See that it's showing an error. So let me show you. So this is idc is private, and as we are trying to access idc from main function, it shows the error. And then let me just let us try to fix this. So if we just fix this one, then let's try to access. See, it's also showing an error. Okay, because as you can see, class child has no member called idp, so we cannot access it from here as well, and so it goes on. Okay, now that's our example for today.